So in the last 8.5 years, I've uploaded 600-ish videos to YouTube. And today I wanted to make a video dedicated to my YouTube heroes that changed everything for me. So it all actually started before YouTube. I was watching a lot of Ray Mears and Les Stroud, the Survivor Man. And I was watching these for hours on, I think it was Dave or something like that. Sometimes you could watch a Ray Mears episode after episode after episode. And I was fascinated by, how some people would thrive using primitive skills such as foraging, firelighting, using bow drills, all of that kind of thing. The Survivor Man, Les Stroud, was more of a, what happens if your car breaks down in the middle of nowhere and you've only got a knife and you've got to travel for 3 days, whereas Ray was more of an educational kind of guy. And then there's the old saying, never trust a skinny survivalist. So Ray ranked quite highly on my list of outdoors people. But eventually I ran out of stuff to watch on mainstream television. There's only so many times you can watch the same Ray Mears episode. So I headed over to YouTube, and back then we're probably talking 13, 14, maybe even 15 years ago now when I first started. I can't actually remember. But the first two channels that I can remember coming across were Sandy, Wiltshire Man. I've been following him now for 13 years, something like that. And he was doing loads of bushcrafty kind of stuff. That's the thing that I was into back then. Camping in woods, making his own bushcraft knives. And there was another guy, Luke, from, what's he called? Outdoor Enthusiast 101. Similar sort of vein, but these were just ordinary people that were going out, taking their camera and just filming what they were up to. And the thing that I really liked about these kind of people is that they were just ordinary people. They're very easy to relate to. That's the thing about YouTube, the relatability with people. Although some of the stuff that you see now it's almost Hollywood kind of production with special effects and things like that. But this was really raw stuff, very basic editing, and just guys talking to the camera. A couple of others that I can think of, Funky Prepper, Intense Angler, I think, was over in America. Mind Wiseman, I think he was Maverick Outdoor, something like that. I watched loads of those kind of things. Hiram Cook, he got me into stoves, and literally he was just doing times and scientific stuff with his cook sets, just in his garage, I think. And watching these normal guys getting out and doing these things, it gave me the confidence to go and have a go myself. So I was going out, little woodlands like this behind me, building lean-to shelters, gathering birch bark or fat wood to practice my firelighting skills. I started buying a few little bits of gear like army surplus, mess kits and things like that, and doing a little bit of cooking while I was out and about. But I thought it was just me and the select few people on YouTube that was doing this weird little hobby. And as more and more people started uploading YouTube videos, I was just consuming more and more information. And I was learning to do things before I'd even actually gone out and practiced them myself. But that is the danger with over-consuming, when you're just watching stuff and learning stuff, like whether it's a review of a backpack and you fixate on learning more and more stuff on the television rather than getting out and doing it yourself. Something's only truly inspiring if it encourages you to get off your arse and go out and do the thing. So I'd have to say, after Ray Mears, when it comes to YouTube, Sandy, aka Wiltshire Man, and Luke, Outdoor Enthusiast 101, they're two people that inspired me to actually get off my backside and practice what I'd been watching. I've been lucky enough to camp with Sandy a couple of times, and he's such a humble, knowledgeable, lovely guy. And he's still making videos now. He must have made and uploaded over 1,000, and he's probably been doing it 15 years plus. And he's given so much back to the outdoor community, just to share his experiences. So going back 11 or 12 years now, I watched a video by Dean Reed, doing a bivvy wild camp on Bamford Edge, and on the video he says that this view takes some beating. So he inspired me to get up onto Bamford Edge and go and take a look for myself, and he's not wrong. That view does take some beating. It was only a hike, I wasn't camping or anything like that, but I fell in love with the views of the Peak District. I'd never really been up any sort of mountains or hiking before then, and it was a totally different thing to the woodland stuff. I loved the woodland stuff, and I was still doing the bushcraft stuff all of the time, but there was something else that had gone off in my head. And I tend to, you know, when I want to learn about something, I go at it. I consume as much information as I can, and I wanted to learn about hiking and wild camping up in the hills. So again, I was watching more and more of that kind of content. So I went back and watched pretty much all of Dean's videos up till then. He was the first one that I noticed that he was on a different level when it came to his presentation skills and his knowledge about the area and the hills in the distance. He could literally point every single one out to you. So I learned so much about the Peak District just from watching Dean's videos. And as for the presentation skills, although I hadn't even contemplated making YouTube videos, I had noticed something that was different about his videos. So just bear that in mind for a little bit later on. So when it comes to wild camping, I've got to give a shout out to a few other channels as well. Dave's Wild Camping. So Dave sadly passed away a couple of years ago, and he was the self-proclaimed #1 wild camper. He would tell you in his videos that he was the best at it. And
I'm Dave's Wild Camping. I'm the greatest wild camper on this earth. And they're skinny robs.
And he was one of the early ones that went out, and he sort of laid the platform for how a lot of people film wild camping videos now on YouTube. You know, he was doing some really extreme stuff in some stunning locations. Again, it was all very raw, and the way it was filmed. And there's a lot of wild campers now that still are using some of his sort of takes and stuff like that in their videos. It's, you know, I think he was quite inspirational to a lot of people, especially in the north, because he was from Newcastle, I believe, somewhere up that end, that neck of the woods. There's also a few others at the time. So we've got, I was watching Gone for a Ratch. I forget his name now. I will put it on the screen. And his wife, they would go to some stunning locations. That was much more easier watching, but it was really inspirational because it gave me ideas of places that I could go myself. And then you've got Eddie, Scott's Wild Camper, again getting out in some really horrific conditions. And Andy Wardle. So Andy Wardle, he's still making videos today, and pretty much on a regular basis. He gets out in all weathers, all conditions, week in, week out, and he's been doing that for 10 years plus. And you've got to take your hat off to that kind of dedication. So bearing in mind that I am watching all of these people camping in these stunning locations, and I'm yet to make a video. But I need to talk a little bit about the Peak District. So this was the closest place for me to go camping, and itself is an awe-inspiring place. It is absolutely stunning and unique with its characteristics. But there was also a couple of people that were synonymous, is that the word, with the Peak District, that gave me the confidence to go out and find places in the area. So first up, I'm going to have to mention our Patrick Dickinson. I remember he did a bivvy camp about 10 or 11 years ago in his Rab Ridge Raider. He's done a couple since then. And, you know, Pat just showed that you don't have to go a million miles away. He also taught me a little bit about character. He's the first person that I really thought about character when it came to being a YouTuber. I was tuning in just because of Pat, not because of the scenery, because of the equipment and all of that kind of stuff. He is, if you ever watch one of his videos, you'll find that there's nobody else like him on YouTube. And I've been lucky enough to meet him once, and he really is a true gent. So if you're lucky enough to meet Pat, tell him I said hello. And I've got to mention my mate Andy Beavers. So Andy started making YouTube videos around the same time as me, and I've been camping many times with Andy now, but he is so knowledgeable about the Peak District and the area, and I've learned so much from him, whether that be specific locations, hill names, rock formations, how they were formed, star constellations even. He seems to know everything about the wildlife, cloud formations. He is like a walking encyclopedia of the Peak District. I know if you go on social media, there's some groups that have got Peak District quiz, and almost every week Andy wins, along with some other people from time to time, but Andy wins. He is, yeah, he should be a chaser when it comes to camping in the Peak District anyway. So you might be able to tell that there is a little bit of a pattern to the kind of people that I watch on YouTube and the kind of people that have inspired me to do it. They are all, humble, genuine people that there's nothing really pretentious about them. They're just doing their thing and just sharing it with the world, and hopefully, trying to let you learn a little bit of something from them. And I've learned a huge amount of stuff. So I've tried to carry that through into my videos as well. So for starters, just be me. I can't be anybody else. Although if you listen to some of the way that I spoke in my earlier videos, yeah, I was trying to do my presentation voice. But yeah, if I've got something that I think you might be able to find useful, a little bit of something that I've learned that I can share with you that might help you out, then I'm going to show that on the videos. And the more videos that I make, the more that I tend to leave in the video. So if something fails now, or I fail at something, or I fall over, or I set fire to the tent, whatever it would be, not that I've done that, but I'd leave it in the video. Whereas before, if I tripped over a guy line, I'd edit it out because it's an embarrassing thing to do, but it's real life. That's what happens. We all trip over. We all stumble sometimes. And if you're the sort of person that stumbles, it's easier to relate to somebody else that stumbles. So yeah, I just want to try and get a message across that the outdoors is for everybody. No matter what your fitness level is or what your skill level is, we're all constantly learning all the time. And I'm still learning every day, no matter how much information that I consume. You forget some, or you get a little bit rusty with stuff like tying knots and things like that. Sometimes I have to brush up a little bit on and do a little bit of practice because I've not done things for a few years. So it's just one of those things. YouTube is a phenomenal place for learning, and I'm so grateful to everybody that shares wisdom and knowledge on the platform. I suppose I better talk about YouTube now. And I've told the story many times before that I never actually intended to be a YouTuber. So I know a lot of people now, I know they start a YouTube channel because they see other people have done a YouTube channel and they think, yeah, I'd like to do that. Or they think, oh, I'd love to be a YouTuber full time and earn a living. You see all these guys with flashy cars and big houses and stuff like that. The reality of being a YouTuber, I will assure you, is not like that. But it started, I was sat round a campfire at a bushcraft meet, and my friend Ben, he'd uploaded a little video to YouTube. I hadn't even ever contemplated it. And he dared everybody around the campfire to make a video. So I did. And it was a massive learning curve. I didn't know what I was doing. I was using my Samsung S6 phone, filmed a little video. You didn't see my face or anything like that. You heard my voice. It was like my telephone voice. Hello, today I'm going to be doing this. And I noticed that actually. I watched one of Pat's videos, one of his early ones from about 12 years ago. He's got the phone voice as well back then. I think the more you do YouTube, the more you grow into your real skin, if that makes sense. It's very nerve-wracking talking to the camera, to talking to you guys sometimes, because when you first start out, it is anyway. Where was I? Got sidetracked. Yeah, so I made this video. I filmed it. I didn't know how to edit it, so I had to YouTube again on how to edit videos. I even had to search how to upload the video. So it was, that's another subject. There's been lots of inspiration on how to make my videos better. but I'm not going to go into that today. But yeah, so I uploaded that video and I just posted it in our little Facebook group for that camping community. I had no idea where it would end up, or I had no intentions of sharing it with anybody else. I never told my family, I never told anybody at work, anything like that. It was just our little secret, because it's, for me, back then, if you said you were a YouTuber, then people would laugh at you, especially from working in a factory environment. But yeah, so that is how I made my first video, and I actually loved the process. I bought a little tripod, and I loved setting the camera up and composing the shot, pressing, record on the camera, and I fell in love with that bit and the editing process. I've had lots of people since I've been full-time YouTube offering to, can they edit my videos for me? And no, I love that. It's not that you can't do it better than me, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people can edit videos better than me, but I like that. And it means that everything that you see done on YouTube is done by me anyway, is done by me. So Ben, huge inspiration just for getting me to make that first video. Although again, he had no idea at the time where this would end up. But so the next massive inspiration when it comes to actual YouTube itself is you guys. So the subscribers, people that commented, and the thumbs up. So when you put your first video out there, as I said, it was just to show my friends, but other people started watching it, and somebody would subscribe, somebody would hit the like button and maybe comment on it saying, really good demonstration. And that's so encouraging, that when people give you nice positive feedback, and even if they say, could you make the audio better, can you do this better, it's all positive feedback. So it encourages you to make the next video, or we'd like to see something about this, gives you more ideas. So I wouldn't have done any of this without the encouragement of my subscribers, and all the people that have watched the videos, all the people that have commented on the videos, even the nasty ones that that did take its toll on me. But yeah, I think I'm over that now. So yeah, I wouldn't be anywhere, I wouldn't be sat on this bench now filming this little video without all of those people. So thank you so much for that. And last but certainly not least is Jo, Mrs. Messner. So she's always encouraged me to do whatever I want to do when it comes to not just YouTube, whether it be life decisions, trying new things for the first time. If I want to buy a bit of gear, she says, I'm sure you need it, sweetheart. Go and get it. So she's never once put the brakes on, which has made this journey so much easier for me. But, it got to the point probably around 4 years ago where YouTube became a really big thing for me. It was a good earner. I was earning as much money from the YouTube then as I was from my full-time job. But all of my life was taken up by the full-time job and making YouTube videos. So, something really had to give a little bit. I either backed off on the YouTube a little bit, which is not what I wanted to do, or give up the day job, which was definitely off the cards, because you have to go to work, right? YouTube's not a real thing. It's not a proper job. It's not a viable way to earn a living. And that's what everybody else was telling me. But Jo was totally opposite of that. She said, you're only here once. If this is your dream, you've got to go for your dream. You've got to... What is the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that YouTube is no more, or you get cancelled, or whatever it would be, or you fail at it. And then you go back to work, and, I was working further away, 25 mile away from where we lived anyway. So she said, even if you had to get a new job, it'd be a good reason to get a job closer to home. So, yeah. So I took the decision, and October 2021. Walked out the factory gates for the last time. Now, I expected that YouTube would be this huge thing, that more time you got, the more videos you would make, and then your earnings and everything would just go up like that. But it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case. At the time, YouTube as well, especially the outdoor community, it just got bigger and bigger. And the competition was, I say competition because there's room for everybody. I mentioned earlier that I watched Patrick because for him, not because of where he's going or anything like that. It's for him and the stories that he tells. And everyone's got their own story to tell, so there is room for everybody. But just the standard camping video or just the standard gear video, although it would get views, the more I made, I wasn't really getting any more views and I wasn't making any more money. So I actually earn less now than I earned when I was working the job and YouTube as well. But my lifestyle is so much better. Work-life balance. This is work now. I know I've got to go home. I've got to do a little bit of editing. I've had to do a little bit of planning just for the things that I wanted to say. But I'm outdoors. I have not got anybody watching over me. There's no clock. There's no watching the clock go down till I can go home at 4 o'clock. So yeah, I'm so much happier. This is the happiest I've ever been. So yeah, all down to YouTube and the people that have encouraged me to do YouTube. Support network's been everything, whether that is other creators, whether that has been my family, my friends, whether that has been Joe. Joe's been the big one. So it's not been an easy ride. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but I finally found a pace and a way of doing things that makes me happy. And that is the most important thing, really. You're never going to please everybody, but that's okay. I don't want to please everybody. What I would like to do is just encourage just a few people just to get outdoors. You don't have to pick the camera up. You don't have to start a YouTube channel. Just get out and enjoy yourself and just clear your head a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this one up. Something a little bit different. If you've hung around till now, thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.